Wherever I went, people said they won't school. So I said, but isn't there a government school? No, it's closed. So then I sent my workers to do a survey of the district. We found 70% of government schools closed. Out of 468 schools, government schools, 70% were closed. 20% only existed on paper. The rest, there were no teachers. So what future does a country have which does not educate its people? And education is for a tiny elite. You have to be rich to be able to afford the education system. And the education system, we talk about madrasas, but no one talks about this, the most unjust system of English medium and Urdu medium. It is so shameful that we are depriving the majority of our population from a quality education. And no one cares. It's like the ghetto mentality, in the ghettos, the moment a black sort of rose, he had enough means to get out of the ghetto, he never went back to the ghetto to improve the ghetto, but he just left it and joined the whites. It's exactly what happens. People who rose from backgrounds like Sheikh Rashid, all of them, none of them go back and think about changing this education system. All of them send their children to English medium school. So as long as I'm all right, it doesn't matter what happens to the masses. But apart from anything else, it is creating divisions in our society. It is creating cultural problems. It's going to create future problems ahead in Pakistan of the rich getting richer and poor getting poorer. So this education system, which should be the priority in Pakistan, yet we spend $5.1 billion on arms, and we are building a GHQ in Islamabad. And for your information, Pentagon is only 30 acres, but the new GHQ in Islamabad on the most precious, the most expensive land in Pakistan is on 2,500 acres. So, the reason why we need rule of law is rule of law leads to free and fair elections. Free and fair elections lead to general democracy. General democracy leads to a redistribution of resources. In India, for instance, while we were waiving off loans of 55 billion rupees to the richest people in Pakistan, in India, there were the small farmers in India who owed money. The government gave them a relief of $15.5 billion. Over 950 billion rupees of the small farmers' loans were wiped out in India. Why? Because it is a democratic government which knows that unless it pleases the people, it cannot get re-elected. That's the beauty of democracy. That's why it leads to a redistribution of resources. So that's why this movement of, when they say, the popular slogan is, "Kisi log aata chahte hain, judge nahi chahte." This is the popular, again, all this slogans from the status quo, that it's a question of bread, not the judge. But actually, unless you have a justice system, you cannot prosper. There can be no prosperity. The classic cases of Singapore. Singapore became independent in 1960 or around about then. Lee Kuan Yew came to power in 1965. When he came to power, Singapore's per capita income was the same as Pakistan, around about $500. And Singapore, the first thing Lee Kuan Yew did was to fix the justice system. Singapore had much more corruption than in Pakistan. He fixed the judiciary, never mind that it's a city-state, but the basic principles are always the same. He fixed the justice system and then kept revamping it. In 1990, they did further reforms to the Singapore judicial system, which is today rated as the best justice system in the world. As a result, we from $500 have crawled to $800, which I'm not sure whether it's still true. Singapore has per capita income of $32,000. So the basis was rule of law. Prosperity depends if you have a justice system. Contract enforcement, where you protect the small entrepreneur, not the rich one. The big entrepreneurs in Pakistan, as we all know, are predators there. They're all mafias. The sugar mafia, the cement mafia, the stock exchange mafia. So these are all mafias. But the backbone of an economy is always the small businessman, the small trader, the small investor, and above all the small